God, that's heaven. Really?
Really?
Yeah, that's heaven. But since you love diving, I would be very supportive.
Yes, I love the water.
And I just appreciate people, you know, like for those people who are watching the first video that we posted, like we are together. Actually, someone is like putting a comment there. I don't see your boyfriend a lot. Well, I kind of jump out.
I'm used to being behind the camera, not in front of it.
Yeah, but you know, like he was there. It only happens that I am the one who hold the camera, and I always stop. And I think you were there. It's just you're not so much.
Yeah, I actually shot quite a bit of footage of you, but
yeah, we're having hard time.
We didn't get it transferred in time for you.
Yeah,
to use
we're having hard time with transferring. He had so many good footage, filming from day one. No, we went to Manila Zoo. That's the first time that you filmed.
Mostly Luneta Park. I don't normally put my personal life out on social media. Obviously, she does.
Well, that's how you knew me.
That's very true.
So I just
Neither
wanted
here
to say
nor there.
thank you because, you know, some of you or a lot of you are really like wishing us the best. And, you know, like finally after 630 days, I was counting. Was it 630 days? Because I counted like June 2, 2020. So
Okay.
630 days. Oh, what is that?
Well, that's when we started talking.
Who messaged first? I'm sure it's you because I put.
Oh, well, yeah. I just sent you an email because I thought it was funny because you were so embarrassed. You're so embarrassed, and of course I couldn't comment back, and so I sent you an email.
It's when I was doing live stream.
Right.
It was funny.
And so I just thought it was funny, so I sent you an email and I said, don't worry about it.
Yeah, because I put him on. I can't remember. I think I was using.
You hit
phone.
you
was
hit
using
the wrong button.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button.
And then you felt really bad.
So I was like, oh God, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
And then he emailed
and I
me.
just thought it was funny, so I emailed her.
You know, if he didn't do that, like if he really didn't email me, I don't really notice him. So it was really a good sign also that it happened. Because if it was not happening, I couldn't be able to notice you. It's the first time that you write me a message. It was a long message, to be honest, and I don't like reading so long message, but I do appreciate the effort that you like, diba, like you're writing, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
Of stuff.
Wow.
Because some other guy just keep writing like compliment all the time, but you didn't do that, and that's really one thing.
No, I don't think I paid you any compliments in the beginning. When did you start hating me? Who wants to be like everybody else?
So see, he's rare.
Look, it's social media. You see a girl, woman, and she's attractive. Any idea how many messages that I'm sure she got on a regular basis, and that essentially all said, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're amazing, blah, 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 blah. And I don't think that she's unappreciative. I think she appreciates it, but at the same time, it's very, very routine, very normal. I think when a guy does that, I mean, I think he's trying to get the attention of the girl. Just my biggest advice is don't try so hard.
Yeah. Take it easy.
You know, my attitude is exchange information and can talk a little bit about yourself. I've always thought that the key to meeting the right person is to try and be the right person. And so if you work on yourself, and everything else kind of takes care of itself. I think probably what's key is to kind of introduce yourself and make some observations so that she knows that you're actually paying attention. You guys wonder why I'm looking at, there's a gecko up there.
That's a lizard. So small. That's a lizard.
You're calling it a lizard, but it's a gecko.
Okay, we're going to argue with lizard now.
It's in the lizard family. It's a lizard, but it's a gecko.
Babe, it's a lizard.
Why would we?
Okay, I'm just teasing you.
You can call it a lizard, I don't mind. tell some things about yourself. And of course, you don't overshare, but you know, my attitude was always that if she finds me interesting, great. And if she doesn't find me interesting, that's okay too. And I wasn't necessarily looking for a girlfriend or anything like that. I wasn't opposed to it, but I was okay being by myself. And I'm sure a lot of people, men and women, can attest to the absolute fact that it's better to be alone than to be with the wrong person.
That is so true.
And wrong doesn't necessarily mean something bad. Sometimes you have two people and they're both good people, but they're not necessarily good with or for each other. You know, there's such thing as people just not really being compatible. I mean, I do really believe that there's someone for everyone, and you just have to be open. And in the meantime, you try to work on yourself and you try to be the best person you can be. Everything else will take care of itself. Be patient. That's
Try
all.
to be patient. So why we?
Oh, well, you're
Be honest now.
a good communicator.
Am I? Sometimes I don't feel like I'm a good communicator.
No, you're a very open person, and
I'm always open-minded.
and you say what you think. And,
I do that because I hate drama.
Well, and I hate drama, and I don't like having to guess at what someone is thinking.
Yeah, I always say to him if I feel something is wrong. I feel
Right,
uncomfortable.
and people shouldn't think that it was just all roses and puppy dog tail. If there was something I didn't like, I could say what I thought, and she would say what she thinks, and vice versa. And we were just able to talk things through.
Yeah,
And,
I think at the beginning it was the hardest time for us. It's because of the adjustment period. We both are different person. I mean,
that's always true.
the beginning it was it was because I have really a trust issue when it comes to
Which is understandable.
relationship. So it's a big adjustment for the both of us, and
Right.
well, we already passed through those stage. Well, still we had some disagreement, but we really didn't, came to the point that we really like fight for it.
I think once or twice we didn't talk for a day or two.
Hi, we didn't do that. When?
When
When was the last time?
when I was really busy with school, and
Oh, that was in Guam. That's what I am telling you. That was the adjustment period time.
we were kind of going back and forth.
Gecko is bigger than the
It's
lizard.
the largest family of geckos.
It was small. That's lizard.
I told you they're lizards,
Alright, look
But
at
it's
the color.
but it's a gecko.
Adjustment period about your study. Well, that was 2020, diba?
Well, you know, I was going to school full time, working on a Bachelor of Science in Biology, and
That was the hardest time for us.
using my GI Bill. When the pandemic started, basically everything went to online. I don't want to make it sound like that we weren't getting help from the professors or they weren't available, but it was definitely different than face-to-face classes, and there were definitely periods where I almost felt like I was teaching myself. But you didn't really have that kind of interaction. Very stressed out, I think we were getting close to the finals. I was very stressed out. I had projects due.
And he's not talking to me for 3 days. And that's the most, that's the
Was
biggest.
it 3 days? It was
Or
at least 2 days.
2 days, I think. And that's the biggest among everything. Like, he was not talking to me for 2 days. I feel like, okay,
but I had
this
projects
is
due
over.
and I had exams. So
I was like,
coming.
Like, I have trust issue and everything. So I was like, okay, this is over now. I feel that way.
Well, but I messaged you and I just said, look, and I was very upfront about it. And then, when I got to the point where I had, a couple days later, and then I messaged you back. So,
Yeah, I feel like I was being seen.
Well, it wasn't.
Not
It wasn't an issue with the. It wasn't so much an issue with the
It was a
relationship
time.
as
It
much
was a
as
time.
it was an issue with the situation. and I had the focus. But I left, I moved, so that means I would be starting over a new college, which means there are going to be requirements. Everybody that goes to college knows that individual universities will have requirements that are unique to that school. And so I would have some courses that I would need to take. I could finish a degree, a Bachelor of Science degree. I could finish in probably 2 semesters if I decided to go back and finish. But it was more something I was doing because I had the opportunity to do it. I think online it's more like introducing yourself. But it's also saying enough to where whoever you're communicating with, they recognize that you're paying attention.
Yeah.
It's like if just take a random girl, if you're trying to get her attention, just writing her a message and saying, "Oh, you're really beautiful." Well, she gets 10 guys a day telling her that.
10 guys? How do you know?
I'm psychic.
Okay, psychic na siya. Anyway.
But if you're actually paying attention, and you should know enough about her to make comments.
Well, there are some guys, depends on their intention. Their intention, diba? Because some guys...
Well, that's true too. I mean, you have guys who are just quote-unquote looking for a good time.
Yeah, there's some
And
guys.
so they have one approach, and then you have guys who are maybe looking for a good time, but they're not opposed to a relationship if they meet the right person. And then you probably have guys who are looking for a relationship. And I can't say that I was looking really for a relationship, but I think I was open to it.
When did you decide that you're, into a relationship na you're looking for a relationship? We were talking.
I never decided I was looking. It just happened. It didn't happen because I was looking. It happened because we met. You don't have to look if you've already found it. If you find it without looking, you weren't looking.
I always believe in timing, by the way.
Well, and that's true. And she had come out of a relationship, and I had come out of a relationship, and timing.
So we're just so very lucky that we knew each other because, like I said, there are some other guys out there who are just looking for a good time. And there are some women out there who are not really into relationship. They're just having fun.
From what I've heard, some of the dating sites, there are a significant number of scammers, and you kind of learn to spot them. And there are girls who are just kind of shotgunning, and they send the same message to multiple guys. But I think you can meet.
Good woman.
I think you meet girls on dating sites. There's a Christian Filipina website. I think most of the women on there are probably quality women. Because there should be some screening, I think, going on there. Yeah, I see the battery light flashing. That's a whole nother subject. Tried a few dating sites years ago. I don't think, I think I always just met girls in person. And I think there's something to be said for that.
So I'm the first online? No?
Well, I didn't meet you on a dating site.
Online.
I was just on YouTube and watching Rike.
Yeah, that was the
And it was the interview he actually did with Filipina P. He made a comment on that live stream, and I saw that, and then I just clicked and looked at her YouTube channel and decided to subscribe. So I'd watched a few of her videos. and I tune in for her live streams, and you know, it's a lot of people who, especially guys who are looking at coming to the Philippines and want to meet a Filipina and all that. And I've spent a lot of time in the Philippines, and I lived here for a couple of years, and so you know, sometimes I would try to help answer questions, and so one day she inadvertently put me on timeout.
That's the beginning of everything.
Right, and which I was quite entertained by.
I was so curious about Filipino tea. That's why I went there.
And she's a brand new vlogger at the time. I subscribed. I think she had 150, 160 subscribers, less than 200. Now I think she's over 100,000. Oh, well, I know she's over 100,000. So she's been very successful. But Jenny made a comment, and I saw her comment and just clicked and went and looked at her channel and ended up subscribing. And then, like I was saying before, the battery ran out on the other camera. I would tune in sometimes for her live streams because most of her followers were asking questions about, you know, coming to the Philippines, living in the Philippines, and all of that. And because I had lived here for 2 years before I went to Guam, I was in a position where I could, you know, kind of help out with some of those answers. And then she accidentally put me on timeout, which
You can still remember.
she was so embarrassed by it.
I never done it before. I mean,
Right. So she just being new at doing live
I
streams.
was apologizing many times.
She just you know, hit the wrong button and the wrong place on her touchscreen. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And I was quite entertained, and she didn't know what she had done, and so I ended up sending her an email. Her email address is, you know, the contact info on her YouTube channel. So I just sent her an email and said, "Don't worry about it. You know, I'm just laughing about it." And she wrote me back and was very apologetic, and then. I think I wrote her an email that was
About super chat that you cannot send.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You said you cannot give super chat because.
Well, I wasn't able to do super chat because I wasn't in the U.S. Guam's a U.S. territory, but it's often not seen as part of the U.S. It's often treated like a separate country, even though it's a U.S. territory. I think, and then I think I said something about I had spent a lot of time in the Philippines and that you could just Google my name in Philippines. And
I was like,
which she did.
I wanted to know more.
And then she she did a screenshot and sent it back to me. She's like, "Is this you?" And I just. Yeah.
It was funny because I was
that's
really
me.
looking for him in Google, and I found him there with some bunch of photos about fishes. So I think I did a screenshot. I showed it to you, or if I remember, I went to your Instagram.
Maybe my
something,
Instagram,
and then I wrote you there
yeah.
also. I think this is you. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So
And then we just kind of did some emails back and forth.
Yeah, I was just very interested.
And
about
really, I
you.
just kind of said, well, you know, and I mentioned this earlier. I just, you know, my attitude really was that I wasn't really looking, but I was happy to make a new friend and have somebody to chat with. And I think that's really important. I think when you're really looking for a romantic relationship, maybe that's not the best approach. Just looking for friends and looking for people that you can have a conversation with, and then during that process, that's how you find out if, you know, this is someone that maybe there'll be more. I think the best relationships start off as friends. and it kind of grows from there. So no, I can't say that I had that really in my mind in the beginning.
And I was also like,
Yeah, we were just, just chatting. And, I thought it was, her YouTube channel, I thought that was interesting. And the videos she did, about life in the province and things like that, I thought were really interesting. And I thought, they were, really well done. And so that was it. And then she thought that, I guess she found someone, who travels as much as I do and scuba dives and does all those things. I guess she found that interesting.
it was really interesting.
And, she was making jokes about sharks. Shared a few photos I've taken of sharks. And I guess it kind of went from there. And it just kind of, I guess, grew over time.
Yeah.
And
It's just so
we
good.
were coming into the summer, and I didn't have any classes, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had a lot of free time. And
But no courting really happens. Just like what traditional couples do, they courted someone. We just like, we go with the flow, diba? Like,
yeah, I would say that.
no courting at all.
And
We feel comfortable.
and I guess there's kind of discussion, and it's like our advice would have always been to anyone that you don't want to get into a relationship with someone that you haven't met yet.
Oh yeah, we hear that a lot of time.
Well, that would be my advice to anyone. And I think the last couple of years have been somewhat unique in that respect. And I think technology has changed things quite a bit. You go back years and years ago, and people, pen pals, that used to be a big thing, and people would write each other, and people would actually take out classified ads to meet someone, and people would become pen pals, and they would write and letters, and you put it in the mail, and you would wait, and then when they started having email, well, things kind of shifted to email, which is much faster. And then occasionally you'd have phone calls, but phone calls used to be very expensive.
But now,
and now you get into
a lot of on Skype,
chatting, and now video chat, and I think in her case in particular, she puts a lot of her. I've been active on social media, but I've never been one to share my life on not my private life, on social media. But because I was able to see a lot of her life, and then of course video chat. So I saw her kids, saw her family. So you have that interaction. And video chat's different because 70% of communication is nonverbal. So when you're actually able to not just hear someone or read what they're typing, but hear them, read their facial expressions, their body language, all of that, that's a much better form of communication than what we've had in the past. And so I think that probably makes a difference. So, but eventually got to a point where it was like, yes, I was definitely going to come here whenever the Philippines opened. And I told her, when the Philippines opens, I'll buy a ticket. And she messaged me on the 28th, like I said earlier, and I bought my ticket that day. And then I arrived here on the 21st.
Yeah. So he's here with me.
Right. So, so here we are. So spent a few days in Manila trying to get over jet lag, and we did, hit a few malls.
We're just so excited to share with you our journey together, but as of the moment, that's how we started, like knowing each other.
May gabi. Good evening.
And yeah, finally he came. He made his promise. And what? Don't roll your eyes to me.
I'm not rolling my eyes.
So yun na guys.
There's a difference between rolling your eyes and raising an eyebrow.
That's raising. Okay, that's raising.
Raising an eyebrow, that's something different. That's kind of like.
So thank you so much, my love, for coming. I just appreciate him really, to be honest. I mean, the effort, the time. I was actually doubtful before, but now, oh my gosh, I'm just so grateful. That's it. So, yun lang, guys. We're just so happy that we're together. But he's gonna leave me anyway, 2 weeks from now. Yun lang.
Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah, you said 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks left.
Oh no, 3 weeks from now.
3 weeks pa? Okay.
Yeah.
But we're gonna, we're gonna spend time together. Just making memories for this entire month. And then, I don't know, are you coming back?
That's what I'm
just
planning to
teasing
do.
you. I'm just teasing you, babe. Thank you so much, guys, for following us. I think, I'm just so happy. Those people who are really looking forward to meet the one for them, I think just be patient and try to be the best version of yourself and work for yourself.
And everything else will take care of itself.
I believe. And the timing also.
Right.
So that's it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll be seeing you on our next video because I'm gonna separate this video anyway.
Okay.
So, thanks, Beb.
Alright.
I love you.
Alright. Love you too. You're welcome.
Bye, everybody. See you next time.